This is the only video you will ever need to watch if you're planning to apply for the GKS scholarship, because we're joined by a GKS scholar herself. Meet Vanshika, a master's student at SKKU or Sungkyunkwan Kon University, one of the best in South Korea, and also a GKS winner. She was also kind enough to give us her winning SOP and application form that helped her secure her spot. You can download it for free from the pinned comments or description. Now let's begin today's video.
I hail from Jharkhand, if you know Ranchi, and so talking about my academic background first. So before I went for an MBA, I had my my bachelor's in French and Francophone studies from JNU, Jawaharlal Nehru University, and then I went on to also do my master's, my first master's in translation and interpretation, which included the French language and the English language. Right. And after that, after working for about 2 years, I decided that I needed an MBA, for which I went to SKKU. Talking about my professional background, so my first job was as a customer representative or a customer relations manager at a small startup called FinCon. So it's based off of India, but we did a lot of offshore work from Canada. And I mostly worked as a translator and interpreter, taking calls and how do I say, translating emails and addressing the concerns of customers. And then I was actually recruited by AXA XL. It's like a insurance and reinsurance company for different companies. It's actually a French company. And I was recruited by them. Sadly, I could not work long there because I got a call for the scholarship. So yeah, that's most of it. For me, I chose SKKU or Sungkyunkwan Kon University because, first of all, the ranking. The ranking was very important for me. And because I had a French background, I wanted to do something Asian, something different in a different culture. So that's why I chose South Korea for that. Another reason why I chose SKKU was because of its alumni network and the amount of support they actually give to the students. So I had a lot of information about this university thanks to my sister, who's also a GKS recipient, the scholarship recipient, and I did a lot of research before going there. One of the things that stood out for SKKU was again the alumni thing. And the other part is the faculty there. The faculty there is global. You have professors coming from Germany, you have professors coming from Britain, US. So you really get a good, a good global view of things, a global view of business. So yeah. My way of applying to the university was a bit different. Okay. So because I was applying through the scholarship, here I think it's important that I mention that there are two ways that you can apply to the for the scholarship. One is the embassy track and one is the university track. Right. I chose the embassy track because by that I had more chances. Like in case if I fail to get into my top priority university, which was SKKU, I could actually put different options. So you have 3 options there. So I went for that. So of course, my way of getting selected or my documents were very different from other people. So I would say, to begin with, it's very important that you have all your certificates, your mark sheet, your diploma or your bachelor's certificate ready with you. Other things that you really require is you need to prove your citizenship. Okay. So you need to have your, a voter ID card for your parents or a passport of your parents to show that, okay, I'm their child, and that's why I'm Indian or whatever it is. Other than that, one of the most important things is your statement of purpose or SOP, the personal statement that you write to the university about your aspirations, your goals, your reasons for applying. Other than that, you also have to write for your future plans. So these are basically some of the things that you need. Of course, there are many other documents. However, once you have made up your mind that you're going to apply for the university, you can actually email them and they're very responsive and they give you a very comprehensive list of the documents that you need. So yeah, that's pretty much it, I would say. So if you're applying for masters, so here again, I would like to clarify that I'm talking more in the terms of the scholarship than just the university. Okay. So it's actually a long procedure. You start applying the first application comes out somewhere between Feb or March. So always keep an eye out. And with that, if there are any updates in the rules or something, it's always there in the flyer that comes out or the page that comes out. So the first round is they'll give you a list of all these documents that I was talking about. So GKS is hosted by this organization called NIIED or simply NEED, and it's like a government body of South Korea that is sponsoring the scholarship. So they'll give you all these lists of documents and everything. So the first thing that you need to be very careful about is that you have to have your 80% in your bachelor's degree to be able to apply for the master's. Okay, that's the first requirement. In case if you don't have 80%, if you're the top 5 in your university, that also works. But it's better if you have that 80% thing. So you'll need that. So the first step is actually a very long process, which starts somewhere from like Feb or March and goes on till August. Right. So it's a long procedure. You have to be really, and there are various steps of selection. So the first step is you collect all your documents, you write your SOP, you write your future plan. One advice that I would like to give students at this point is don't write your SOP in Feb. Don't start then. Start it like at least 2-3 months back so that you have some time to really think and really edit it, because I feel that's the part where a lot of students are either selected or not selected, right? So that's the thing. That's the first step. Once you are done, like accumulating all your documents and getting all the things in place, after that you send it to the Embassy of Korea that's here in New Delhi, right? And once they select it, you go for the second round. The second round is where the officials from South Korea would actually interview you, right? So there's this interview round. This interview round is pretty early in the steps, maybe by March end or April first week. They conduct the interviews. And like this is the step from where, however many applications are there, about 25 to 26 students are only selected. And once you have qualified this round, it's actually about 90 to 95% sure that you're getting into the university, right? After this round, you have another round which is called the university round, right? In this university round, so as I was talking about in this scholarship, you have you can select 3 steps if you choose the embassy tracks. So now one of these universities has to select your application, okay? In case of SKKU, they hold another round of interview for it, right? They have another round of interview for it. If you pass that interview, you are finally selected. So that's like 3 steps. However, again, there's another part. If you are going through the university track, there won't be any first interview that happens at the end of March. You'll just have an interview with your university. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So before when you go for GKS, there are 2 parts of the program. So in GKS, if you're going through GKS, you have 1 year mandatory language training program, which is again covered by the government. You don't pay anything for it and you still get a stipend, right? However, if you have so in Korean, you have proficiency levels. It's it starts from level 1 and it goes to level 6. So if you have level 5 or 6 in the first 6 months, you can just go ahead with the program. So you actually save 6 months there. But in case of most students, because most students applying from here do not really have any language proficiency in Korean, so they have to go through that 1 year program. During that 1 year program, you get around 1 million Korean won as a stipend, and all of your tuition fee and everything is paid for. You don't have to really pay for anything. Other than that, after a year, when you go ahead with your master's or your other studies, it's 1,300,000 won for each month that you get. And the payment is quite regular and there's no issues in that. But if you're going for the first time, most of the universities will ask you to bring about maybe 2,000 USDs or at least 1,500 USDs, because The process in Korea to open a bank account is a bit more complex than in India. So you have something called the ARC, the Alien Registration Card, which takes some time. After getting that card, you will have a bank account, and then only the university can give you money. So at least for the first month or month and a half, it's advisable to bring your own money, which is somewhere like around $1,500. So for master's program, the stipend that you get from the scholarship is about 1,300,000 Korean won, which is around 85 to 90,000 in Indian rupees. Other than that, even if you do not have a scholarship, you have lots of other scholarship programs. Like if you are the top performer, then by default you don't pay any tuition fees. Or at times, if you performed really well in your SOP or in one of your interviews, you actually get a 40% or 50% scholarship from the university, right? So it always changes. But right now, I guess the total tuition fees for at least for SPKU, as far as I know, is around somewhere around 50 lakhs in Indian rupees. Other than that, if I talk about cost of living, it's pretty high in Seoul because it's one of the most expensive cities in the world. So you have a high rent and other things. If I can give you an estimate for a month, I would say it would be around 1,300 to 1,400 US dollars should be the minimum required amount to survive in South Korea. Yes, including of course your rent, your food, and everything else. Yeah, because the GKS program goes on for so long. If you're selected, if your name does show up in the last final list, actually the process gets very easy. So you get this badge, a kind of a sticker from the Korean government that says, okay, they are inviting you. So they send you an invitation letter. Because of that, the process gets kind of fast tracked. So in my case, I got my visa in like 9 to 10 days. And it was pretty simple. So you go there, again, there will be a comprehensive list of documents with your application form. Check it very carefully. All the parts that I mentioned required, make sure you have those because every year there's one thing that keeps on changing for GKS. It's like at first they were okay with a provisional certificate for your bachelor's, but now they really want you to have the actual degree. So that keeps on changing every year. So make sure you check that. Other than that, one of the most important, I would say, like make sure your passport is not expired because that's another issue that happens. Make sure to get it updated for the while you will be there or something because changing it from South Korea is a lot of headache. Other than that, I'd say always carry the apostille version of all your educational documents with you because you might need it for the extension of your visa when you're in Korea, right? But for other students, if you do not have the GKS scholarship, the process is still simple, but you need to show a certain amount of money, maybe 10,000 US dollars or something in your account. I'm not very clear about the amount that you need, but you need to have a significant amount of money in your bank. So that's the only change. It takes about 15 days or something for other people who do not have a scholarship. But as long as you have invitation letter from your university, you should be good.
Hope this video has been super duper helpful. Let me know if you have any questions and feel free to drop them in the comments. Also, before you leave, don't forget to download Vanshika's complete GKS form and SOP from the pinned comments or description. I will see you next time.